front brake now. Yeah. Look pretty much from that we lost the front end. So Bradley Smith, so fantastic qualifying for him. Paul Espargaro is out as well. So the two Tectois teams run by Hervé Poncharal, the amiable French person. Oh, that has done it for me. My first Grand Prix back. I was so looking forward to Bradley Smith being in there somewhere.
This. Scott Redding's gone past Nicky Hayden. Compensation if we're focusing
indeed.
On the Brits.
Well, I am focusing on the Brits to an extent. It's a great race. I mean,
it's fantastic.
You know, these two at the moment. We've got the legend that is Valentino Rossi all over, the reigning rookie world champion, 21-year-old Marc Marquez with a broken leg. Yeah, I think it was James Toastland who said another comment that made me laugh. Well, he only broke one.
Alongside drag race.
Yeah, but Marc Marquez is so good on the brakes. He's going to run wide, I think.
And Valentino is.
Yeah, they both run a little bit hot into there.
That happens here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to be.
So if competitors need anything, he needs to break both legs to give them an advantage.
Rossi's personal best last time round. He was 5.62.
Unless that motorbike breaks down, melts or runs out of fuel, Rossi's not going to give up. Because if he's this close, you've only got to remember Jorge Lorenzo. You know, think of a whole list of riders who thought they might have the race won on the last lap when Valentino duffed them up. and properly duffed them up. Yes. He won't take a prisoner.
No, he won't do the same.
Can you imagine I mean, it's hard enough getting down pit lane when Valentino Rossi's in it anyway, and everybody thought his star was on the wane. But if he goes and wins the opening round, we are not going to be able to move in the pits.
We just got a glimpse of Alicia Spargaro there in 5th. A bit off the radar. We've not said enough about him because of the action up front.
True.
But that is a brilliant job.
Well, I mean, coming from so far back, and the psychological bashing that he's had. I mean, he was the man with the massive expectations of winning the first race on that open ruled factory Yamaha. still all these contradictions in terms whenever you say them. We'll carry on with those another day. But there's Lynn Jarvis. Lynn Jarvis looking to salvage something from today after Lorenzo goes out in the form of this man, who was the slower of the two in qualifying. Valentino Rossi only qualified in 10th place in 1:55.096. Not particularly quick, but I tell you what, the bike won't slow down in the speed trap. It's only a couple of miles an hour off of Marc Marquez's Honda. Look at that, Marc Marquez moves him right over to the white line. Valentino comes through with 2 laps to go, and this time Marc Marquez is going to have to work very hard at the end here. Will he be able to stop it?
No.
He has stopped it. He stopped it enough to keep Valentino. I thought he was going to overrun again. I think Valentino did as well.
So did I.
Valentino looked like, okay, we'll let him run a bit wide and we'll pinch it off him. But that's just a rehearsal.
That's Bautista on the floor.
Was that the big one over the back?
I'm sure that was Bautista.
Here comes Valentino again. He gets it. Valentino goes through. It was Bautista. He's not there anymore. So Alvaro Bautista has done, some would say, what he does best. Has gone down. Alex Briggs in the middle there, clapping. I tell you, if you worked for someone like Valentino Rossi, you would think, ooh, Marc Marquez leaves rubber on Valentino's leg and takes it back. This reminds me of the last lap of, what was it, Catalonia, Lorenzo versus Valentino Rossi of a few years back. When they swapped paint in 2009. Thanks, Jules. I knew the old computer would have that worked out. These two are going to be swapping places for the last 2 laps, unless that Yamaha hasn't got enough fuel to do it. There he comes. He forces his way through. That was a massive
We go again.
And another one. This is Lorenzo and Valentino battling away. Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi head to head. And who is going to come out best? Well, maybe it'll be Pedrosa.
Yes. I was just thinking where Bradley Smith might have finished had he not had that incident.
Can't ever think about what would be.
No.
But in this case, how is this going to end? 1.5 laps to go. Neither of these men are giving anything. And to be honest, it's absolutely perfectly good racing. None of it has been dirty at all yet. Here we go. On this slippery corner. 1 lap to go. This is the next time we get to this point, we'll know who's going to be the winner. Valentino Rossi, he's always been good on the brakes at the end of here, but Marquez has just had that extra yard on him. But Will Marquez has gone right across to the white line. Valentino's going to look for somewhere else to pick him off.
Not close enough on the brakes at turn 1 by a long way. If it's a drag race out of the final corner, put the mortgage on the Honda.
It won't happen anyway, because it won't be a drag race out of there. But it doesn't matter. Whoever comes out that last corner first, unless there's a mistake where somebody spins it up, whoever gets out 16 first is going to be across the line first, because neither of these motorbikes is much different in the top end.
Yeah, the nature of the corner as well.
Indeed. But Valentino's going to be looking to mug him. This is not over. Anybody that thinks that Valentino may have given this to Marc Marquez and taken his time, he's just winding himself up for a pass on Marc Marquez. Marquez loose on the motorbike. Ha! 21 years old. He won't give up either, of course. If Valentino makes a break, then you can be sure that Marc Marquez will be looking to come back at it. Dani Pedrosa, once again, is the interested spectator in third place. Oh, sideways across. Again, Valentino down in that curb. He's looking for the berm in the curb. It just doesn't seem to be close enough, Jules, I've got to say.
Now, every time I think he's got a chance to lay a glove on him, there's an extra 3 or 4 bike lengths there. Now he closes up at the apex.
Got to get on the gas.
But away goes the Honda.
Yep, and here comes the Yamaha now. Valentino just doesn't seem to have it. I think Marc Marquez, unless he makes a mistake, he looks like this little devil has got it sorted again. Valentino Rossi, well, I thought he'd got the mark of Marc Marquez, but I'm not so sure about that now.
Closing through the rights.
Yeah, but you've still got to make it work, and he's not close enough, Julian. You need to be right there to be able to take an opportunistic move. You cannot be this far back. He's never going to make a lunge. These blokes are never a yard out on their expectation. Here we go then. It's Marc Marquez that is going to win the opening Grand Prix of 2014. He is a remarkable young man, a remarkable Marc Marquez wins in Qatar from Valentino Rossi, and you've got to hand it to Rossi. He gave it his all to try and beat him. Aleix Espargaro comes home fourth after a disastrous qualifying. In third place was still Dani Pedrosa. Andrea Dovizioso gets fifth on his 28th birthday. Cal Crutchlow, has he run out of fuel?
It was one out of something. He's got 24 litres we had in that thing.
In front of it, was he? Oh, he was miles in front, so he got it okay.
Marc Marquez set his personal best lap of the race on the last lap.
And it looked it. There is Scott Redding, comes over the line in front of Nicky Hayden. That's very important from a psychological point of view.
Redding 7th.
Perfect.
That's not bad, and Bradley Smith could have been...
Yeah.
Something would be, sorry, you've warned me once.
Scott Redding is the man. I think that's a fantastic result for Scott Redding. I think that's a fantastic result for him. That is a real mettle, showing his mettle and getting on with the business when he's not on a bike that he's that happy with. He said it handles good, it's just slow. And it was 30-odd kilometres slow, wasn't it?
It was. He beat Nicky Hayden by 0.03 of a second. So Nicky was trying. Scott Redding, top customer Honda rider in his first Grand Prix at this class, at the top level. That is properly impressive.
I enjoyed that, Jules. Thanks for having me back, mate.
Keithy, it's only going to get better. I'm not sure we're going to get a better race than that.
Do you know what? Do you know what my favourite is?
Go on.
Moto 3 I was expected to be ecstatically... Moto 3 was okay, Moto 2 was okay, but that was a proper race.
Can I let you into a secret?
Race. Yeah, go on.
No matter how wonderful crash bang action Moto 2 and Moto 3 are,
still,
what you are watching when you watch Moto Grand Prix are the best riders in the world on the most fabulous motorcycles in the world, and nothing beats that.
You know, you're right, you're absolutely right. The top premier class, we have just seen a class demonstration, and on a difficult track, difficult circumstances here in Qatar. It's never easy. This will be the Alvaro Bautista. Oh dear me, he properly dumped that in the dirt, didn't he?
Out wide.
Same turn, we've seen so many people. That was where Espargaro went down yesterday, exactly the same place. At 6, is it? Turn 6.
Was it 6 or 10?
There is Espargaro. I don't think it would be 10. There is a very happy.
First and third.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, it was nearly thwarted. They didn't have their own way in Moto 3, did they, HRC? They ended up being behind the KTM in that.
Absolutely, but
they won the one that counts.
Factory bike wins, factory bike second, factory bike third. Order is restored. The world is correctly aligned on its axis.
And a good shot of Valentino.
There's normally a sunshine joke to be made there, but we won't go there.
There's an advertising space that they've missed.
Yep.
They'll have that filmed
the
next
old
time.
devil, eh?
Can't help
the old devil.
I missed that graphic. I was too busy watching Valentino doing his stuff, but this was just a fantastic half a lap.
He knows it's coming, doesn't he? I'll just get my...
You leave a bit of a gap there and he's going to be straight down there like a rat up a drain pipe.
Romano Fenati in the VR pit.
Yeah, look how much of the curb he took off there, Valentino. He really tried to get the drive out of 16 off the curb.
I can only imagine how viciously peaky that engine Valentino was dealing with.
Well, whatever the problems they've had, whatever the problems they're still enduring at Yamaha, Valentino Rossi rode like a hero and gave this guy, mind you, he rode like a hero, he's got a broken leg.
We have just been treated to the two best riders in a long time, he said carefully.
Good stuff, isn't it?
What more do you want? What more do you want? And Mark Marquez, who hadn't put any weight on that right leg 8 days ago.
Steady, boys.
And let's see how Valentino reacts. His crew are happy. Bernie